What is going on, Panther Lair? We are back talking about the Pittsburgh Panthers home loss to the Virginia Cavaliers this past Monday night. Now, I have two possessions here on offense, one that Pitt runs, one that Virginia runs, and I think this is going to flesh out why the details of this are important. So again, Pitt did not generate a lot of offense. That's pretty obvious just given the 57 points they put up, but also they just simply do not execute things that are relatively well designed, and Virginia pretty much did to a T, and I think that was a big difference. So let's take a look at these sequences here. So this is going to be in the second half. Here we go, is that chin screen for Damian Dunn set by Cam Corn. And look, Corn is going to flow into an off-ball screen, inside off-ball screen here for Ishmael Leggett. I mean, that's not bad, but he just never gets any contact here. And you might want to credit Virginia's players for stepping over, but when you get to the video that I talk about Virginia's offense, you're going to constantly see how they're able to reposition themselves before contact and consistently able to screen the Pitt guards almost in every possession, and that's why they were so successful. So you see here, no contact. Now, what you end up having is the pass is pretty well timed, but Leggett was not able to separate from his defender at all. And because of that, this defender on Corrin doesn't have to do anything other than sync with Corrin. Because of that, you see that this floater lob pass for an alley-oop is going to be contested. And again, this defender is in just really good position because he never had to do any form of help off the screen. And Corrin, who is a really good athlete, maybe just a little bit behind him, but largely because that was contested, doesn't come down with this. They do get the possession, however. Now, let's take a look at possession Virginia runs probably just a moments before that here, if you look at the time on the clock. And now you're going to see them run zoom action. Well, Pitt obviously runs this a ton. This is going to be their Chicago look, but watch how well Virginia is able to execute this. So this looks like, hey, here comes the zoom action. Buchanan sets this screen here on Guillermo Diaz-Graham, but because he actually goes and is intentional with the screen setting, or at least looking like this, he was able to slip out here in a very, very clean lane without anyone helping. I love how he opens this way. This is exactly how you should open up, not just backpedal into the middle of the floor, but he opens quickly to allow himself to be open face to this pass. And when he does, it just comes right over the top. Again, the purpose of zoom, you knocked out this help defender completely, even though you didn't use the zoom screens at all. And this just ends up being a nice patient layup that Virginia is able to execute. So Pitt runs zoom all the time. They run Chicago variants all the time. They just don't get a lot of points from it. The execution of these things often comes down to small details, and you could just see that Pitt consistently misses on small details, even when the design is reasonable. And I'm not saying the design of everything they do is fantastic, but when it is pretty good, you have to execute that. And you look at Virginia, who doesn't have nearly as much talent, certainly does not as much athletic talent as Pitt, but they executed in the small details, and that's one of the reasons they were successful on Monday night.